everybody. Anybody want to take a guess what we're making today? I wonder what it could be. That's right. We are going to make some good old cornbread. We're keto and carnivore most of all. But every once in a while, you like to have some good old cornbread and a pot of beans. We're not doing all that because it's too freaking hot to do beans. But actually what I'm going to use this for, I'm going to bake it and crumble it up and put my cornbread dressing seasonings in it and crumble it up and put it in a Ziploc and leave it in the freezer for a couple months for my dressing. So that being said, let's get started. Look, I have a different shirt on. Yay, I told you I had more than one. Anyway, so let's dispose of a myth, or let me rephrase that. It is a myth in my kitchen, and since it's my kitchen, my rules, that you cannot wash cast iron. Now I know the old school ladies and gentlemen will say, no, you can't do that. Yes, you can. Do you think people just go around with dirty pans and just put more food in it? No. My thing is, you just have to re-season it every time. And I love cooking with cast iron so much that I have one in every size. And stainless steel too. I very rarely, I have non-stick, but I only have the ceramic, the higher end ones, I guess. And that's because my son is still learning to cook and he doesn't quite get the grasp of cast iron just yet. That will come in time. He's still working on his motor skills. Hi, Jared. So I do have non-stick, but I love to cook in cast iron. Enameled cast iron, yes. Stainless steel and my cast iron, I love it. So most of the time, okay, all of the time, I cook my cornbread in cast iron. So the thing is, with cast iron, I just used it here. I used it for lunch and now I'm about to use it again. Look, oh no, I washed it. So if you want to get started on cast iron, somebody leave some comments in the you know, in the chat or whatever, and I would love to do a how-to with cast iron and stainless steel. If that's something that anybody would like to learn about, let me know and I'll be happy to do a video on it. I would love to do a video on how to season them the first time and thereafter, and I'd love to show you how to season stainless steel. Did you know that you can cook on stainless steel pans, skillets, whatever, and make them non-stick, and you can fry an egg on them and flip them and they do just like a non-stick pan that you buy at the store. I would love to show y'all that. In fact, I may do a video anyway, but give me a hint if that's something y'all want to do. Anyway, so what I've got, I'm just doing a single batch of it today, which is on the jar here, and I'm gonna put it in the description as well. So I have my 12-inch skillet. I don't really use soap and water. I think that's what they mean. Don't use the soap and water so much. But what I have is, I don't know if you can see, it's one of these chain scrubby things. It's made by Lodge, and you just scrub all the stuff off and then run through hot water and then kind of like dry it out, like we're doing here. Oh, I still got a little spot on there. Oopsie. I know there are people melting, having a total meltdown right now as we speak with me wetting a cast iron skillet. Now, do you put it in the dishwasher? Hell no, you do not do that. But that's safe enough. So now what we're going to do, let me bring you over to my dirty stove that I've been cooking on all day, so no judgment. So now, I'm going to turn the heat up high. And then I'm going to season it. Crap, I got stuff all over me again. I'm going to season it because we stopped using seed oils. And that's just because I have a lot of health issues, and so I was doing keto at first, and that was working somewhat. Not to just get into my whole life story, but that was working somewhat, but I was still having a lot of inflammation. I have a couple autoimmune diseases, so I was still having flare-ups really bad, and I was getting nauseous all the time and whatever. And I'm gonna plug his channel. Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Chafee changed my life. For the last month, I have been carnivore, and I have not ate meat, beef particularly, in 8 years. And I have been tearing up the ribeyes. Let me tell you, I cook them in this every morning, and I've already lost 15 pounds. All my inflammation is gone. I'm off insulin, and I'm off my acid reflux medicine. And this is not a plug for that, but I just want to say, yeah. Where was I going with this? Anyway, so yeah, we're making the cornbread because that'll be my first actual cheat day besides the one roll that I had. So anyway, so we're just letting this heat up. And anyway, so that's what it was. So we don't do seed oils at all anymore. I have one little thing of olive oil spray, and usually that's just for the gas grill outside when we use that. Most time, and pretty much anything, I do either tallow, and I do ghee, which is clarified butter. It's basically cooked until the milk solids come out. So now this is smoking, so we're gonna put a little dab in there, and roll it around. I'm gonna turn that off. Now that I'm smoking, I'm gonna have the house smoked up again. If I don't feel like going out on the porch onto the gas grill to cook my steaks, I smoke up the whole damn house. Oops. But anyway, so I don't know if you can tell, but you just get that in there real good in all the little pores. And we're going to do another video. Yeah, I'm doing it. I am so doing a cast iron and stainless steel video. It's coming. It's coming, y'all. But anyway, so this will do. And what this is for my cornbread. So we've got that. We're just going to set him aside. Keep that on standby because I'm going to put more in it later. So you need your oven. I can be doing that. Our oven is going to be preheated to 425. Or is it 450? I can't remember. Yeah, 425. And since it takes a while, we're going to go into this right now. Yes. Okay, so now that's going. Now I'm going to get all the ingredients together as I clean up my mess, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright guys, so I decided to be fancy like the chefs on the YouTubes, and I decided that I just get everything pre-measured out. So the recipe calls for 1 cup of cornmeal, flour, whatever you want to call it, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I have tried this with the gluten-free and it doesn't rise as much, so generally you have to add either xanthan gum and or extra baking powder. So anyway, 1 cup cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1 cup of milk, and this is specifically raw milk that we got from a dairy farm down the street, and 1 egg. A tip for beginners or people that have never used yard eggs before, fresh eggs, that's what these are. Always, always, always crack your egg in there. Not that the chickens aren't good at what they do, but nature is nature. So I always crack my eggs before, that way I don't ruin the whole thing. Plus, you get the chance to get the eggshell out before it goes into the dish. Then we got 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And then, so it calls for vegetable oil, but we don't eat those kind of oils, so I just have melted ghee. And it's actually a little bit more, I find a little bit more than what the recipe calls for. When you use the ghee, it's better. But if you want to use vegetable oil, that's your business. Just use 1/4 of a cup. You don't want to use any more than that if you're using the veggie oil. So what we're going to do first, we're going to add the dry ingredients. Boom. Boom. baking powder, salt, and sugar. There are debates about the daggum sugar in cornmeal or not. It doesn't make it sweet. It just makes it delicious. Okay. So let's stir this around. Give this a good whisk. And I know you can use a whisk, but for some reason when I make cornbread, it's kind of like a, I'm not gonna say a superstitious thing, but my mom always made it with the fork, and so that's how I learned, and so I can't unlearn it. So I always use a fork. Feel free to use a whisk. It's your business. Okay. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo on the liquids. So I'm gonna put the ghee in next. I don't think it really matters. It's kind of just like whatever, because normally I'm just grabbing stuff. I'm not trying to be all presentable and have everything out, you know, prepared like. Who the hell wants to be prepared all the time? Anyway. So getting that incorporated in. So now we're gonna do the milk, the moo juice. The moo juice is going in. And I like to say this recipe is forgiving. I guess it is, because I've switched the veggie oil to the ghee and it does fine. So, you know, it also depends on the pan you use it in and how long you let your oven preheat. Because a lot of people don't realize this, but even though when your oven preheats to say 350, it's not really at 350 yet. You have to give it, if you want it done properly, especially if you're doing pastries or cakes, you want to give it an extra 5-10 minutes if you can, and then it'll do its thing. And that's it. That's everything. And it's gonna have some lumps, and that's okay. It's cornbread. Now, if you want to add other things to it, I know some people put honey in there. That's your business. If you want to substitute half the sugar for half the amount of honey, then go for it. Sometimes, I think I've done that once or twice. I think we just prefer, and we use cane sugar. We don't use the white crap that's at stores. We're too bougie for that stuff when we do use sugar. So, I also make a jalapeno. I think it's called a tamale pie, and I'm going to get to that eventually too, where you put the jalapenos and the cheddar in this, and then you make taco meat, and then you put a layer of this, layer of taco meat, and a layer of that. And so this recipe gets around, if you know what I'm saying. So, but for right now, we're going to do just plain old cornbread. Okay, so now that I spilled half a cup of flour on the floor that I need to clean up later. Oh, so what we're going to do, you're going to get this pan hot, screaming hot before you put the batter in there. Plus it gives the batter a chance to incorporate all the little things, and you give it one more stir. So what we're going to do, pop some more ghee in there. Please excuse my oven. Again, I've been baking and cooking for the last few days. It's seen better days. So we're going to stick it in there for a few minutes, and then we'll be back. Alright, so I forgot to film me taking it out of the oven, but you've seen people take stuff out of ovens before. So like I said, this is a single batch in my 12-inch large skillet. So it's not going to be as tall as you're probably thinking it should be. And again, this is just for... I do a double batch in this too, and it'll be like, whoop, that's all for reals. So anyway, so... Smell-o-vision. And if I was serving it like to go with beans or whatever, I would have browned the top a little bit more. But I'm going to crumble this up to make dressing out of, so it's not a big deal. But we're going to cut into it either way. So let's just do... It smells so good. Alright, I'm going to use this plate. Why is this first piece is always difficult? Or this pie cake, whatever. Look at that. And see, it doesn't... See how it doesn't stick to the... That's not sticking, that's just, it's just hot. It doesn't stick to the pan, so... So anyway, oh, that's nice. Now when you use the ghee instead of the vegetable oil, it's a tad denser. So if you feel the need to use a veggie oil, go ahead. It's for my dietary reasons why we don't. So that being said, I mean, that is nice. Oh yeah, this will crumble nicely. Oh yes, too hot to do that. This is my favorite part right here. The bottom part. It's cheat day, y'all. So, oh yeah. Throw some maple syrup over it or some honey. Some good eating right there. My dad used to put this in a glass, crumble it in a glass, and pour buttermilk over it. That was like his favorite snack. How about it, y'all? How beautiful is that, right? All right, peace. Love y'all. Bye.